Hey Thomas, how are you
Jonathan,
today?
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Sounds like we're both anxious. We're coming out of the gates like a horse race. Here we go. Hey, listen, you know what I want to talk about? I
Okay.
was going through some storage boxes over the weekend. I came across something I put together. I can't believe it's 7 years ago. It's amazing how time flies by. But, it's a pretty simple thing, but it was actually very informative. It's success isn't built on 9 to 5 when you're an entrepreneur. Okay. And you and I both know that very dearly into heart because we've been entrepreneurs for, 20 plus years. So we know what we have to do. And there is no, time clock. We can't punch in, punch out. And our mind's always thinking, even on the weekends it happens. So, it becomes almost like, hey, you're doing this 8 days a week. That's how much you're really thinking as an entrepreneur. But
Yeah.
you know, two of the things that come across is basically, when you're an entrepreneur, is visualizing your success and understanding your self-worth. Now, when people say, hey, what's the self-worth? It's not how much money you have, it's what you have in knowledge and what you have in wisdom to take that and package it in order to build your company. Your thoughts on those two things?
It real time is so important when you're starting a business. You don't Whether you're starting the business and just going with it, or if you're just trying to get success out of the business, which is what we all want. It's not just wake up, have breakfast, put in your 8 hours of work, and in a couple of years you'll be okay. I remember the beginning when I first started. It was everything. Mornings, afternoons, nights. Half the time I'd have my computer on my lap, just all throughout the night, just putting together ideas, how we're going to do this, how we're going to do that. It takes a lot of time. And I remember my eighth grade science teacher said to me, "Your time is the most valuable thing, and time is money." So you don't realize you need so even now, like your time is so valuable that the last thing you want to do is waste anything with just things that don't make sense or don't it's not going to pan out. So you always want to value your time, don't waste it, and really make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make your business grow. So yeah,
No, it's totally true. And it comes to a point, you have to look at what's out there and you can't be afraid of your competition. If anything, you want to build on your competition because you want to see what they're offering compared to what you're offering, especially if you can personalize your business, especially when it comes to the customer service of that customer.
I mean it's all about figuring out what you need to do. What are your competitors doing? What does your customer want? Um, and it doesn't happen overnight, right? I mean, it takes years to really figure out the right way of doing things. So that's why they normally say you're not going to have instant success. It's going to take time to get to where you want to be. But without putting in the time, without really being smart with what you're doing, uh, you're not going to make it work. I know even in the beginning when I was trying to start my business, I didn't know how to start, right? I was working a job and I didn't like being at that position, even though it was a good position. I didn't like working in that capacity because I knew I had so much more to give. I would wake up extra early, start planning what I want to do. And then at nighttime, I came home, had dinner, and I just worked on my plan on how I'm going to execute my business, how I'm going to get it off the ground. And, eventually I took that leap. I got rid of my job, I quit, and did everything, normally, working, 16, 17 hours a day sometimes, just trying to figure out how to get it all in because you need a boatload of time to be successful.
Oh, it's true. And you know what? Like you said before, time is money. You don't want to spin your wheels because when you spin your wheels, nothing's going to happen. So you got to actually use it as a precious, moment and make things happen. One thing I've always worked with all my dealers, and even to the point where I was just had like sales reps back in the day, I always used to tell the sales reps and I tell the dealers when you got that customer, because our customers, they stick with us because they're under contract. That's the type of business I've always been in. I said, give them my phone number, give them my personal extension. And even now, at the point, I have my dealers giving the customers my personal cell phone. And customers have reached out to me. Not a lot of them, but when they get frustrated, They want to go right to the top to, be able to get something satisfied. I always tell the dealer, say, listen, when you talk to the customer, at least contact me first. All right. And if things aren't happening after you contact me, then feel free to contact, Thomas, and he'll actually take everything from there. All right. Because he's on the top of the top, the creme de la creme. So he'll get it done. And that's what you have to do. And I'm sure you've done that with, telling your sales rep, hey, here's the boss's cell phone.
Well, you start learning, having a client, it's easy to get a client. It's very difficult to keep a client because you have to keep them happy. You have to provide them with the quality service that they're expecting, whether it be a product or a service. You don't want to get people that want to cancel, want a refund. You want to make sure that you're doing everything you can. So putting in that extra time to having that 15-minute conversation with them can save you a lot more time and money. So always putting, your best foot forward, and that's how you really make your business more successful each day. It's just true though. I mean, the more you think about it, in a day, there's so much money that you can make, right? There's so many different business ideas that people may have. And maybe some are easier than others, right? But everything needs hard work. Everything you need to figure out the groundwork. What are you going to do? How are you going to take your company to the next level? Are you happy, satisfied with where you are, the income you're generating? Or do you want to elevate yourself? Do you want to make your company a 6, 7, 8-figure company? If you do, you have to take these steps. You have to learn from what you did, learn from what your competitors are doing, and figure out how you're going to overcome that and be better. You
Oh,
can't just stay still.
100%. Yeah. Another thing is too, I noticed with some businesses, they hit a plateau. Even sales reps, they'll hit a plateau. You know what? You can't allow that to stop you. You have to sit back. And you know what? Then you got to invest time in yourself, because you got to be making that investment to willing to learn and get more knowledge in you, because plateaus are going to basically be a sticking point where it's not going to allow you to elevate to the point where you should be elevating to. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's funny you said that because I see that in a lot of different people around me that they're successful, right? They're making money that they thought they can never make, but there's still so much more that you can make. There's so much more results you can provide. Uh, I do it myself. I set specific goals. I want to make X amount of dollars for the company a month or per year. And every month, every year, we see if we can make that, do better, do we come short. But don't just settle for being comfortable. You want to continue to elevate where you are, right? You want to make more,
Absolutely.
have a better life. But I do see people. I don't want to say that they get lazy, but they get comfortable, right? They're complacent.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
And some people say I want to make, salespeople especially, they'll be like, I want to make $5,000 a month. Once they make 5,000, I've seen this happen. Once they make a certain number, they get comfortable and they just kind of coast. They don't care to make more as long as they keep their base of 5 or 10. And me, I'm the total opposite. I'm always looking for, I want to make more, obviously, but I always want to make sure we never reduce the quality that we provide. And that's it.
You're absolutely correct on that. And you know, really good sales reps and business owners should accept nothing less than perfection. You know what? Not meaning you always got to be perfect, but the point is it's going to keep you sharper and sharper. And that's what you want to do, because going back to the old days when you used to have a pencil, you have to go over to the sharpener and sharpen up, make sure you have a fine point. Well, you know what? Using that same analogy, you want to make sure you're always going to be a fine point and always keep yourself to the level where you can say, hey, listen, this is what I have going on, and I'm keep building the business block by block by block. And something we go back to what we talked about the other day, you want to work in teams with other people because that's going to make you stronger.
Yeah. Well, another part about that is that people, when they hit their number, let's say they want to hit 7 figures, right? They hit that number, and then they kind of calm down. They're not aggressive. They don't try to get more. And then sometimes what happens also is they stop being innovators in the space. They may not know the marketing or the whatever business you're in. You may not know that as well as the next guy, or the next person, because now you're kind of comfortable. You're in that very dangerous comfortable zone because you're just kind of staying still. And I've seen a lot of marketing companies specifically, they've gone into that little rut where they make enough money to be happy, travel, do whatever they want, and then little by little they lose a client here, they lose a client there, they forget how to do certain types of services because in marketing things change, month to month. There's so many things there's so many variables that things change. So yeah, you really have to make sure you keep pushing yourself and do better and make more and be more efficient, be smarter, right?
Hmm. No, that's what you definitely want to do. You know, you want to, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of work ethic. That's what I'm thinking. That's what comes to mind. And there's a few things you always got to have on the front burner. It's having that work ethic and always, having strong confidence. Oh, if you have strong confidence, you're going to believe in yourself. And you know what? Always, compliment people, especially when they do a good job. And if someone does a bad job, don't criticize them, but make them aware. Hey, listen, you know what? You should have, instead of doing it that way, you should have went around. You had these other options to go this way, and you could have closed the client, or you could actually put a better proposal together. By bringing these points up again, working with people, keeping an eye on everything. And that's what you want to do. It's kind of like the fine print in a contract. You want to make sure you're being, having that type of fine print with your team, especially your sales team. And that's what you have to do. Anyway, well, listen, this has been a great segment. I think we gave a lot of information and creative knowledge for you. I appreciate everybody out there. If you could just hit that like button and subscribe. Any closing comments there, Jonathan?
Just work smart, be smart, and you'll be, on your way.
All right, sounds great. Everybody, have a wonderful week. Take care.
Take care, guys.